Hello Factorio fans! Welcome to part 4 of Let's Play with Bob's Mods. This video will deal exclusively with modules, those handy little things that you can put into your factory to make them faster, less polluting, or more efficient. Modules are optional. You don't need them to win. If you don't want to bother with them, you can skip to the next and final video. But they are super powerful in Bob's Mods, and as you scale your factory, they can make a big difference. There are 8 levels of each module, each with increasing levels of power and effectiveness. We are going to go through the first 4 levels in this video. You'll get the hang of it by then if you want to go further. Module research and production is kind of a mini factory unto itself. I like to put it over here to the right of where I'm producing my red and blue cards because many of the inputs are the same and we can leverage things that are already being produced. As you may already know, module research isn't done in a regular research lab. They are done in a modules lab, and they take very different inputs. The modules lab can be found right next to your regular labs on your constructing tab. Okay, so here we are in our area where we are manufacturing our boards, yellow, red, and blue. And I've cleared off a large space over here to the right for our module production. Again, we can leverage a lot of the components that are being produced for boards for modules. So our first task is to get research up and running. And to do this, we'll need to construct a number of inputs. The first of which are basic module boards. They need copper, tin, phenolic boards, and ferric chloride solution. I've brought in copper and tin right here so we can make our basic boards here. And conveniently, we are making phenolic boards and some solder right here. And so let's go ahead and leverage this from our red board production. We should have plenty of ferric chloride solution being produced here. And once those reach the top, we'll be producing. Next is a module main board, which actually uses exactly the same components. So we'll just go ahead and produce those right next door using the same belts. Next is the module contact, which requires gold and copper. If you remember way back when we created our red board production facility, we left a nice little belt here along the middle for a placeholder for gold. Boy, that was smart. We were thinking in advance. So I've brought gold off the main belt and combined it with copper here. And I can go ahead and bring it into the module production area. Next, we need module cases, which require plastic and aluminum. Fortunately, right down here in our blue production area, we have a plastic and aluminum belt coming right across. So I can just leverage this. Okay, now that we have these, we can turn to the actual modules. There are 5 types of modules in Bob's Mods, plus some combo modules, which we'll get to later. Efficiency modules, which reduce power consumption. Pollution cleaning modules, which obviously clean pollution. Productivity modules, which generate more output for the same level of raw materials, but at the expense of more energy and pollution. Speed modules, which speed up assemblers in exchange for more energy. And pollution-producing modules, which increase the amount of pollution from machines. I have no idea why you'd use the last kind, and they're not needed for research, so let's build the other 4. Each module has a specific kind of circuit board that is used to produce it. Each one of these circuit board types is good for 2 levels of modules. So for example, if we wanted to use this speed circuit board, this will be fine to help us build speed modules level 1 and 2. But if we want to build speed module 3s, we need a more advanced kind of board, which we will discover as we start our modules research. These most basic kind of circuit boards, however, are used as inputs to the module research process. So let's prioritize building them. I'm going to lay 4 assemblers here for the 4 kinds of boards. I'm also just going to get set up for eventually producing level 1 modules and level 2 modules. We'll do pollution cleaning, efficiency, productivity, and speed. All 4 types of circuit board need basic module boards, solder, basic electronic components, and transistors. They're all the same inputs. So we have basic module boards coming off here, and solder is right nearby, so let's just populate the other half of this belt with solder. There we go. Now we need basic electronic components and transistors, but fortunately over here in our red card production area, we're making a whole bunch of them. So we can go ahead and leverage these. Okay, I'm going to lay down 3 modules labs. You can certainly do more if you would like. And we will bring these cards across. These are eventually going to be needed for level 1 cards. And they're needed for research. As are these. Good. And now we can start module research. Start with speed modules. Unfortunately, you can't have both a main research project and a modules research project running at the same time. It's one or the other. Okay, skipping forward a bit, I have researched the 4 basic modules up to level 2, so we can start these producing. These are going to need our module contacts and module cases. So I can split this belt. And we'll feed the circuit boards in this way. Good, these level 2 are now going to need solder and module contacts as well as the preceding module. So we'll feed the preceding module in here. Solder will take a little bit of sneaking around here. There we go. One of the most powerful features for modules in Bob's Mods is the ability to combine some of them to get the functionality of 2 or more in one module. For example, efficiency and pollution cleaning modules can be combined to create green modules. I like a low pollution strategy, so these are quite important to me. So I am going to produce them here and stockpile them. Skipping forward some, I've researched all the modules up to level 4. Producing these looks a lot like producing levels 1 and 2 with just different components. So I'm going to come over here to the right and lay down the same configuration of assemblers. As I mentioned before, each circuit board is good for 2 levels. So in order to do our new, say, pollution cleaning module 3, we will need a new circuit board, the pollution cleaning logic board, which is here. and we'll produce one for each type. And then we'll produce levels 3 and 4 next to them. In order to produce these new logic boards, we're going to need a new component called a module logic board. This is created very similarly to the others, and we'll put them right here. The module logic board: copper, gold, fiberglass, and ferric chloride. So it's fairly easy to split off copper and gold. We'll just go ahead and do this. Fiberglass is what we are producing for our blue components. So we're going to have to bring those in a little ways here. These will also need solder, transistors, and integrated electronics. Solder and integrated electronics are being produced down here for our blue cards. So let's go ahead and leverage the production. Transistors we can go ahead and siphon off right here. Excellent. Once those get started, we can begin with these. We will also need the precursor, module, solder, and transistors. Solder and transistors obviously can come right off of here. And the precursor modules we can kind of curve around bring them in as well. You get the idea. If you want to go to level 5 and 6, you're going to pretty much replicate this again. And if you want to go all the way to level 8, that's great. I usually find level 4s so powerful, I don't need to go any further. I will mention that starting at level 5, you will need to start using polished gems in the formulas, which we're not going to cover today, but easy to figure out. Terrific. This concludes part 4. In our final video, we'll cover green tech, electronic processing or pink boards, and all of the rocket components. And that will lead us to victory. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't hesitate to put ideas or requests in the comments. I do read every one.